Hello traders, wonderful weekend and happy Easter in advance to everyone who celebrates. Happy long weekend from trading, started from Friday, on Friday, and it's going to continue on Monday as well. Majority of the central banks are closed, which means volatility is very low. It should start to return a bit to normal during the US session, but basically it's gonna begin on Tuesday or on the latest part of Monday, crossing through Tuesday. The main events this week would be the monetary policy in Australia and the building permits in the US to come at the beginning of the week. Then we have CPI in New Zealand together with the crude oil inventories, Philly Fed Manufacturing Index, and the speech from Mr. Carney, Bank of England. That's the main event, and the finish would be CPI from Canada on Friday. Now let's talk about the charts. Basically, what's happening lately is the worry or the concerns we have from all the geopolitical changes and all the talking about wars everywhere, if it's North Korea, if it's the Middle East, and that's just part of it, of course. The very serious conflict situation between Russia and the US does not contribute as well. It feels like something is warming up, and the concerns affect immediately on the markets, and that might last for some long period. The other thing is that, of course, the surprises that keep coming from Mr. Trump tweets or interviews, and the last one was that the dollar is too strong. Now, it had an immediate impact, which after a day or two actually was relaxed down, but the impact is immediate. Trump says the dollar is too strong. Boom! It's the traders jump on this tweet or interview and sell the dollars. So let's go over the chart and see the main opportunities we have. Let's start with the Aussie Kiwi trade we have been talking about during last week. We are so far holding these two beautiful cycles here and here. That's also a small one that holding a very powerful support. We had a bullish divergence all here and here, all the surrounding here, right? The trend line broke as well, and now it's holding, and now we have trend line from the bottom. So in other words, we can summarize the pressure remains very seriously bullish, and if it's about to really continue, we also have a bullish hidden divergence here from the daily chart. If that's about to continue, and there is a very good chance we are going to get into this situation again, and maybe later on the continuation to the weekly range. I just want to remind you where it all begins from. We have this range, okay? We had a false break on the bottoms, false break on the top, and now we are dancing around. So we might be going once again towards the tops. And that means basically one thing. We are after buys. Okay, this is the bottom line here. And we have two options for that. One is the continuation straight from the moment it started. Two, if we break through this level going down again, then we have the next magnet zone, which is the meeting point of two cycles. Okay, and that's gonna be right here around 107, and the next one is dancing around 106. Which of them would play in action, we would see, but as long as current bottom holds, we remain bullish, and if not, then the next level are ready for the attack and the rebuys. For long run, we are only after buys. Looking on the tunnel though, this tunnel is yet bearish. It has to break, of course, in order to get a serious continuation, and that's why I say, if that's not going to hold and break through, we are going for one more ride which should take us to 107, maybe even 106 before we really go for buys. So what I would suggest here, if it does not break through this trend line, which is also holding this beautiful tunnel, as you can see, right? And we come here to this area and start to face weakness, that could be an opportunity to go for the sell with the break of this trend line, like this, and try to ride that through towards 107, 106. That's two opportunities I would pay attention to here. That might be really good one. The next one on the list is going to be the Aussie versus the Canadian. Another pair we have been talking about on the last reviews, and we said we are looking to go for buys below parity and closer to 0.99, which actually happened here on a very, very, very powerful magnet zone. So this is not a new review here. This is just a summary. If you have your buys going, okay, make sure you're not losing in this trade. How to do that? By moving stop loss to break even, or separate that, cash out partial and not the rest part run. There is a very good chance we will see the continuation because this is a bullish hidden divergence. So theoretically we might aim even to the top, which is 103. Okay? And we are also bouncing from the weekly 20 MA. So the pressure might remain bullish and for real. So I would say stay long as long as the last bottom holds, and as long as you make sure you will not lose on this opportunity, which we have been hunting for a long time now. And how not to lose is: 1, cash out partial; 2, protect yourself by moving stop to break even. And if we observe here again, here is the reason why it is very important to do that, because we are approaching back to the channel. You can see how beautiful the channel was holding lately, right? All this ride it was holding perfectly. All this down move it was holding perfectly. All this up move it was holding perfectly as well. So it is really behaving very well technically, and that's the places we need to pay attention to. Currently we have this support, so if we get closer we might be looking for the buys continuation. 1 hour chart supporting as well. So our next target would be actually here, that's around 101.30 through 101.60. That's our zone. We would be looking to get it up to here, okay, which is also the top of the channel. Now in terms of top days, as we can see, we went through 14, so basically the next important days we need to pay attention to would be 17, 19, okay, which is the middle of the coming week, right? That's where we have to start to pay attention to. If we just go through, that's going to be like 21. So 19, 21st, that's the 2 days, and the range basically. The range of the dates we need to pay attention to. It's going to happen somewhere here. If we manage to get this to this place, that's a very good cash out partially place and make money place. Next one on the list is going to be, let's talk about majors. And now I want to start with the pound dollar, because pound dollar is a pair that everyone wants to to trade with the historical level opportunities, and on the same time it yet has problems. It's holding this range still. Now I still think we are after buys here and buys only. No, there are two ways I want to perform with the pound dollar. Option number 1 is that we got stuck now in this kind of a range, which means this might be some extended leg to here, where from we are going for buys. If this leg going through, we are looking for bullish divergence here on lower time frame, and we are going for the buys. Option number 2 is that we already had double wave correction. Now we had the rally, we got the convergence, we got triple cycle up on the 1 hour chart, which you can see in front of your eyes, marked here 1, 2, 3, which means we are just doing this correction, and from there we are going long. So this is a very valid option because we did have the correction, we do have this one. We can get a duplication, and guess what? Duplication would be back to here. 50% retrace of the triple cycle on the 1 hour chart. How good it is? Very good. So basically, if we manage to get this move down to this area, or below 125, down to 124.50-ish, we start looking for buys. Bullish divergence, of course, and maybe trendline breakout, and we go trying these longs. If we just go through, then we have the 161.8 level, which is on the bottom of the channel, which is 124 zone or lower, and from there we would be looking for bullish divergence and the buys. Alright, talking the channel, we are so far holding the channel, respecting that. It's not the best one to rely on due to, you can see all the crosses on the previous area, but we do have a beautiful levels here. In terms of days for bottoms, we had this bottom actually called on the 7th, right? And we got a 7 right here. Very powerful. Days for tops, we have on the 18, 19, and then we have the end of the month. So we still have plenty of time for the continuation. So if we get that move down, it could be a really nice opportunity to go and continue with the buys. In terms of supportive zones, the first zone is right here, 125-ish. Okay, that would be also 61.8 of this cycle. Alright. And the next level would be on the duplication, that would be 124.50, which is right here. If we just break through, we have the 124. Another important level for buy. So you can see how everything is correlated, and the crystal ball gives us the beautiful levels to rely on and look for the opportunities from, right? Definitely pay attention to that. Euro dollar, I still have no obvious and clear view here. A very tricky pair. I would consider to try longs from this area if we can get some kind of a cycle here. Okay, so like 61.8 duplication down to, let's say, 105 down to 104. From there I would be trying to go longs, but this one is very tricky, so I would simply recommend stay safe and look for better opportunities. Australian dollar is, how to say that gently, my favorite. So far it's doing exactly what we have been talking about. If you remember the previous week, guys, this was our analysis. We're going to look for buys from the bottom of the range. So far the buys continue, and every 2 waves down, as long as the bottom holds, every 2 waves down or range is opportunity for us to buy. So this or this. Okay, and we are after buys. We are going to continue up here as long as this bottom holds. We want buys. Let's go for crystal ball and see for the levels. We have this one. That's 0.7550 down to 0.7540. And we have currently here on the 1 hour chart as well, important one. Okay, so as long as it holds, we remain long. If we break through, we have the 4 hour chart level, then just in case we have the 0.75 zone. So stay longs here, look for the best opportunities and the risk reward. Those of you who are in, as we have been talking about on the previous weekly forecast. Okay, and the ideas that were shared with you guys on the blog during the week. Just protect yourself, cash out partial, make sure you don't lose money, and enjoy the profits. New Zealandian dollar, also very interesting one. so far holding the bottom of the range. Nothing new here. Let's take a look. Okay, we expect it to continue up, and we expect it to make one of the two options. Option number 1, go up to here. Option number 2, start a mini range on the bottom. Whatever it is, we are still after buys as long as the bottom holds. That was a kind of a one leg rally here, so I wouldn't rush to jump in on whatever the price is. I would be looking for 2 cycles and then start to look for bullish divergence and long. Okay, and then option number 2 is some kind of a range, one more low, one more top, one more low, and then we can try the buys. Alright, and we are aiming to the top of the daily range, or at least the daily chart, triple cycle, this one, 50%. Definitely not the best cycle, but still one to work with. Only if we break through the bottom, that's a continuation call for the next leg to continue. That's probably gonna take us back to 0.67 zone. Only if we break through to the downside. Dollar yen, last week we have been talking about this range, and we said if we break through, we are going to see a very serious move down, and we continue lower. According to the weekly chart, there is a good chance for continuation. It seems we are now going for that, well, we got this duplication actually, as you can see here, 25 candles versus 25 candles. The only problem is the divergence did not complete yet. Okay, only if it will, we start looking for false breaks and buys. In other words, only if we make a false break here, rally above this high, get 2 waves correction, and then break above them, we can start looking for the buys retraces. Okay? If it does not do that and continue lower, we are going for the 161.8 level, which is 104. Okay, so be very careful here, guys. Don't just jump in because it looks good. Okay, with all the sensitivity in the world, that could be the basic continuation down. And that's exactly what took pairs like pound yen to the downside yet, and the euro yen and all the rest of the yen. Talking of the pound yen, it's a pair I wanted to go longs. I was looking for the convergences to form. We did not get any convergence and 2 waves retraces. So the idea still remains on. We still need a false break to complete. We still need to go above the last high. We still need to go in 2 waves correction. And with the break above these 2 trend line, 2 waves down move trend line correction, we are going longs. And the levels to pay attention to start actually right from now. We have the days, okay, and we have the levels. That's a 4-hour chart level, very powerful one if it managed to hold. And we have a 1-hour chart level as well. So the only question is, will we be able to get the false break and the convergence? If we do, it's time to look for longs. If we don't, we are going for continuation, and that could take us to 133 or the 130. Basically, this would be the next measurement. If we treat that as a cycle, all that as a triangle, we are going for here, that's 133, or we are going down to 127 even of the 161.8 full expansion, okay, or 130 of the full duplication. So that's the next levels if we don't create the convergence as discussed. We are going to 133, 130, 127 in stages. Euro yen, same story, currently remains bearish, and it seems we are going for new low, 1, 2, and one more final. This final, by the way, should be somewhere around 105 if we rely on this 161.8. Okay, That's low. It seems like a long journey. That's still a potential bullish hidden divergence. There is only one problem. There is no divergence from daily. Therefore, every rally to come, and there might come a rally very soon, we should be looking for sell opportunities. That could be 1, 2, 3. We might get some corrections here, which should hint for sell continuation. And I will stop here with the majors. We have more than enough opportunities. There are much more trades to follow, which we have been talking about on the previous week. Where is that? Here we go. Euro Kiwi starts to be ultra interesting for possible long continuation. That's the second leg correction here, right? Here we go. And that's the levels to pay attention to, 150-ish. From here, if we start to look for buys, if we break through, we are going to 148.50. That's the two levels to start looking for the buy opportunities. How are we going to do that? False breaks, higher highs, retrace, and buys. Watching on crystal ball levels and zones, here we would expect it to give us some buy opportunity. That should happen on 18-19 somewhere, okay? So during the middle of the week. And in terms of levels, that's where we got it. Okay, so watch out for the signals to come on these levels. Very important. S&P looks like it remains bearish, at least for now. There is no bullish divergence nowhere at this stage. Of course, it all can turn around here. Okay, so as long as the MACD did not tick and it didn't change up, we remain in a bearish expectations, which means, in other words, every two waves rally is yet a sell. We also have the trend line that we follow and we respect. As long as it continues, we are going for sells. Watching on Mr. Crystal Ball, that's our levels for reversals. Every two waves up to any of the levels, as long as the daily trend line holds, and we are after sells. As long as the daily divergence did not trigger. Okay? And the last one, Mr. Oil. We would want to go buy on this dip. Okay? Currently, we will want the head and shoulders. That's a head and shoulders. Okay, we will want to get below it. Boom. We want to see two waves retrace and the breakout after that, and we go for the sell correction. Two waves up we got on the 4-hour chart, which means we expect a 38.2 correction, which is approximately 151 level. Okay, very interesting, very great potential, and we have to keep an eye on this one. All the rest of the opportunities, as they are forming, we will be talking on the daily forecasts updates, and of course you get that inside the club or in the forecast site. So that's all, guys. I wish you a wonderful week. Happy Easter, and thank you very much for your time watching this video. If you enjoyed that, please leave your feedback and share with everyone who you believe can have a benefit by watching this video. I hope it was useful for you. And once again, thank you for your time. Yours, Vladimir Ribakov.